Welcome to the Northwest Tank Line Super Bowl show. We are coming to you from Las Vegas, Super Bowl LVIII, pitting the San Francisco 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming to you from Radio Row for the 23rd year this year. This convention hall at the Mandalay Bay Hotel is the center for Radio Row, and we're thrilled to have an old friend of ours stop by, Jarrett Payton, former running back, of course, in the Canadian Football League with the Toronto Alouettes, the Toronto Argonauts and the Montreal Alouettes.
Yes.
And, of course, the son of the legendary Walter Payton. You're here every year, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award. Man, how many years has this been for you?
Look at this. I'm getting chills. I know everybody can't see this, but every time you say that, it brings a joy, a little bit of sweetness to my life, man, that we're here every single year.
Yeah, you know what? God bless that we're all here, right? And everyone's healthy and that we're here. And, it's funny because when you walk around, it's like a little bit of a mini convention for us. You see all these people they haven't seen all year long, and we all congregate here at the Super Bowl. And the more years you come, the more people you know, so it's a lot of fun.
It reminds me of like a family reunion, with the barbecue. Everybody's out. You get a chance to see everyone and catch up and check up on how their kids are doing. But yeah, every single year, this is what I look forward to. This is actually my new year. Like after the Super Bowl, the Monday after, that's when my year starts over again because it's always dictated around the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and man, it's kind of funny because you talk about your year and it's how it changes. I'm just thinking to myself, we're in training camp in 3 months in the Canadian Football League. You know the drill, right?
It's going to be here before you know it. And I really, being a part of the CFL and playing there, I try to tell everybody in Chicago and down in the States, like, come on, man, you got to check out the game. It is one of the best games on the planet to be able to watch. And a lot of people don't know about the CFL. They catch it somehow a little bit, and the next thing you know, they become fans. And they want to ask all the questions about why are they doing this? Why is this? Why is the field so wide? Why is it so long? And they get an opportunity to see what the CFL has to offer.
I think the one thing about the CFL game that I absolutely love over the American game, and I love both. I mean, both have their strengths and weaknesses. But the last 3 minutes, you know what that's like in the CFL. That's like another quarter in itself.
It's unbelievable. You have to be locked in. And coming from the States and understanding the game a little bit, it takes you a little bit of time to understand what's going on.
Obviously you were in the National Football League, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, and you played at Miami at college. You come up to Canada. What was your first impressions of coming up to the CFL?
Well, it's kind of funny because I just talked to him not a couple days ago. I talked to Jim Pop. I always I catch up with him every once in a while just to say hello, and we were talking about that. I said, it was a different experience from a kid who didn't know anything about the CFL to then getting the opportunity to go to Montreal first. And if I could do it all over again, if you could take me back to Miami and coming out of, going into the combine and the draft and all that, I would have went straight to Montreal if I could do it all over again and really just focus in on the CFL if I could do that. Because it was a moment in 2007 where I had the most fun playing the game of football.
It's interesting. A lot of guys will say that, and they say because you don't have the money that you do in the National Football League, that you don't have the clicks. It's more of that college-type atmosphere in the CFL where everyone's just kind of on equal footing, so to speak.
Yeah, and also, too, the time. I mean, when I was up there, I wasn't the time frame of being in the building.
Yeah, I mean, you're out by whatever, 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I had a life, and I was able to, at that time to get home, check in on what people are doing, but also being locked into what we were doing as well. So if I could do it all over again, I would go straight to Montreal.
You know what? That's a little different because if you played in, say, I don't know, Winnipeg, maybe you'd say, I don't know. But Montreal was just a little bit different. But, man, just to see the game and all the friends that I got a chance to meet and to think about this, a lot of those guys now are in the NFL in some form or fashion that I play with. Marcus Brady, he got interviewed for the Chicago Bears, the offensive coordinator job. They brought him back to talk about being on the staff to, now Kerry Joseph, now the quarterbacks coach of the Chicago Bears where, the team that I cover. There's a Henry Burris.
Yeah. I mean, Brian Bratton as well. I mean, these are guys that I played with who are now in the NFL in the coaching capacity and I'm having that opportunity to really prick their brains about what's going on.
Hey, and by the way, your beloved Montreal Alouettes.
I know.
Defending Grey Cup champions.
I
don't know if you saw the Grey Cup game.
I did not see it. I did not, but I need.
Montreal scored like in the dying seconds to beat Winnipeg by a point,
dude,
or two, or whatever it was.
I went back and watched the East semi game that we played in up in Winnipeg and didn't go so well. I broke my hand that game. So I didn't get to play like the rest of the second half.
Jarrett Payton is our guest. Of course, he is always here at the Super Bowl with the rest of his family as they honor his dad, the late, great Walter Payton, with the NFL Man of the Year award. What was the transition like once you got out of football to doing what you did?
A lot of soul searching.
Yeah.
Didn't go to school for being in media. Didn't really like to do all this stuff. But now I am the lead sports guy in Chicago for WGN-TV. I have a show that I do every single night that is it's getting numbers pretty close to Jimmy Kimmel. Like, we're right there underneath him in our market. So just to see what our team has done and to be a part of a team at WGN, it's been amazing. And I'm growing. I keep growing and growing. And this year I did Legends of the Big Game, which is like my big special. I did interviews with guys that played in the Super Bowl, but also what they're doing off the field. So Chris Long, Boomer Esiason, and Devin Hester. And it's just every single year I get a chance to do more and more cool stuff. So.
And you know, the funny thing is, I'll guarantee you, I know the answer, but I'm going to throw it to you anyway. There's a lot of similarities between what we do in football in terms of it's like a game when we go on air. You better do your homework. You better be prepared to do what you got to do come game time.
You better. You got to be prepared. I was just looking at over the quarterbacks today and talking about the matchup between what Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes, and looking at defenses that they played against and knowing numbers. You got to stay up on this stuff. And if you don't, that's like not looking at your playbook. And when you're not looking at your playbook, you don't know what's going on, and you can't give people, put people in the right situations, especially for me now. Everybody wants to know today the props. Like, I'm going to let everybody know how they can make a little bit of money. Make a little money.
Hey, by the way, our producer, Mike Whittingham, over here will be talking to you as soon as we get off air here.
Hey, we might go to the sports book together. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award, what does it mean to you? Because obviously being the son of a legendary athlete, there comes a lot of pressure, a lot of weight, yet at the same time, there's also that recognition that, to this day, people look at your dad as one of the greatest, if not the greatest.
Look at this.
You got chills again?
Chills again.
Yeah, running back in the NFL.
He is what he did on the football field is you can look and watch on film and see it on YouTube. But the person that he was and the impact that he had off the field is what's special.
Yeah.
The sweetness name that comes with him on the football field and how he moves sweet, he was just like that off the field. And to see the impact that he made on people's lives, man, it's every single year. And to see these young men who are up for this award and how much they want to win. They want to win this award more than they want to win the MVP. And it goes that each one of these men that's nominated, the 32 guys, all are cut from a cloth of my dad, of like the person that he was. And so to be able to have that a relationship with these guys and to nurture it throughout the years is special. Like this past year, I'm be honest, Dak Prescott, unbelievable man, unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Checking in on us, making sure that he's having that communication because he wants to be closer to the family because he loves the award so much and what it means to him. I mean, inviting the family to come to games, it's unreal. And to have that type of brother that I can call on when I need him, he's an extension of the family. And so it's cool to have these relationships, and I'll never take it for granted.
And I think the other thing, too, I mean, I hate to say it, but as we move along, time moves along, sometimes memories fade. Sometimes, people forget about what people did both on and off the field. And I think the really cool thing about this is there's a whole generation that never saw your dad play. We weren't even born when your dad played, and now they know who Walter Payton is and what Walter Payton was about both on and off the field.
But I think it goes that way in the CFL and the NFL. When it comes to football, we both know that there are parents that are teaching their kids about, certain players. Like up in Canada, a dad might be telling their son or daughter about Doug Flutie and the things that he did. You know what I mean?
Mo Williams.
Yeah, like all these Warren Moon, like all these. It's always being passed down from generation to generation. And so for us, we got a chance to be able to see it. They're watching it in a different form, whether it's on social media or videos. But the game, the CFL game, the NFL game is so strong that these people are going to last forever. My dad's memory will be lasting forever in what he did, the impact that he made on the football field. But now, with this award, it's about what he did off the field as well.
Jarrett Payton is our guest. Super Bowl 58 pitting the 49ers and the Chiefs. We've got to get your take on the big game.
Come on, man. It's
early, I know, but still.
You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. It's hard. I've been doing it over, throughout the playoffs. I'm like, there ain't no way. But to watch and see all of the issues that the Kansas City Chiefs had throughout the year, through the drops, through all the other stuff, Mahomes going crazy, yelling on the sidelines, to now be here playing for another Super Bowl championship speaks volumes to what he's all about and how him and this offense, because we know defensively, the Chiefs have defensively got them here. They've been locked down. But offense flipped a switch when they needed to in the postseason. Travis Kelce looks like his old self, and Patrick Mahomes is playing out of his mind.
Do you know the one thing that I think of, and it's interesting because there's a parallel in Chicago with your Blackhawks. The Blackhawks won 3 cups, but they almost did it with 3 different support groups. Yeah, they had their core guys.
Exactly.
Kane, Taze, Seabrook, Keith.
But they
had the support group kind of changed over the years, right?
Always.
And I think the same holds true with the Chiefs now that, this is a different team than, say, won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, whatever. But those leaders always make sure that everybody on that team is invested and buys in and feels like it, and they bring them along for the ride. And that's what I think Patrick Mahomes and the rest of that Chiefs leadership group
in Chicago, we always called it the core. It was the core with Taves, Kane, and Seabrook, and that was the core. If you have that core in the NFL, with that core, you have to have the quarterback. They have the quarterback.
Yeah.
I was there at the Bears-Chiefs game, and you guys might know this, or people listening might know this, but that was the when I went viral, when I had the video of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce walking for the first time together. I was walking around that stadium talking to Chiefs fans, and they have no worry in the world because they know their quarterback is going to show up every single game, and he does. And I think every organization is looking for that. Everybody's trying to find that Patrick Mahomes, and it is hard to do. Hence the reason why the Bears are in a situation going into this draft, having the number 1 overall pick, figuring out if it's going to be Caleb Williams or they're going to stick with Justin Fields.
My buddy Benny, who's a huge, huge Bears fan, he's probably screaming right now, ask him about the Bears. Ask him about the Bears. I'll ask you about the Bears. What do you see happening with the Bears and that pick, and how do you see the Bears moving forward?
I think it's going to be a tough decision. I've been talking to a lot of people around the organization. I just no one's giving out any signs of what they're going to do. And I think that's a good thing that Ryan Poles, the GM, has kind of a tight knit. He's got this thing close to the vest. I think it's going to be hard not to pass up on another number 1 pick. But I also know that Ryan Poles loves to be able to have his draft capital as well, to be able to move this thing and really create what he wants to create. My biggest thing is I'm cool either way. I'm a huge Justin fan. I go on radio every single week in Chicago and talk about I love Justin. But I also understand, too, it's a business, and they got to figure out what's going to be best. So do your homework, your due diligence, find out about Caleb. If he fits what you're trying to do, then I think you got to figure it out. But if you feel like Justin, you can add guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and a couple other, offensive weapons, and you think you can do that, I'm cool with that. I'm cool either way because I don't think it's a downside on whatever direction they go. So,
Jarrett, it's been outstanding catching up with you. We track you down. You're a busy man around Radio Row Super Bowl week. We tracked you down this week. It's awesome.
I love my people from Canada, man. I'm coming back pretty soon.
Yeah, you're going to Montreal this
Yeah, we got to go to Montreal, man. Hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll call you. I'll call you when I get there.
Yeah, send me photos. I'm on the other side.
I know. I might make my way that way too.
Hey, Jarrett, thanks so much for doing this again. Congratulations on the week, and look forward to seeing you in the future, my friend.
I appreciate you guys.